Hello and welcome back to Reddit Recreations, your place for some chilled out vibes and a few Reddit stories. Today we're looking at r/BadNeighbors, and this post is from the ADHD Bumblebee, 1926, and says, unhinged response to a note on a car. I've never spoken to my neighbours in the houses across from the street from us, but I've seen them about plenty. Our house is in a circular dead-end street with them across the road. Parking around our houses is limited, but every weekend, guests and visitors tend to use our spaces rather than park on the street. Today, I was driving back from a few errands to find there were no spaces because a massive SUV parked across two. Feeling irritated that this is a constant, I parked up on the street and went into my house to write the following note. Please don't double park. People who live here can't park their cars. I left it on their windshield and thought nothing of it. Oh, why would you? I'm sure that the person read that note and thought, that's a reasonable thing to request, I will stop doing that. And then the story ends. Let's find out if that's what happened. A few hours later, another neighbour of mine, the couple in the house directly next to me, knocks on my door to say the car has gone and we can park our cars. Suddenly, from across the street, another woman comes storming over, waving my note and screaming about how embarrassed she is. Apparently, the large SUV was owned by family of hers visiting from America. I'm in the UK. And the note was embarrassing to her and completely out of order. Her daughter then joins the fray, also screaming about how she can't believe a neighbour would do this and how I've intimidated her mother. She even threatens to call the police. My other neighbours jumped into my defence, saying they also couldn't park outside their own home, and the screaming continued. Apparently, receiving a note is embarrassing, but screaming and shouting in the street is totally fine. That last sentence wrapping it up, that's exactly what I thought there. So, how are you going to scream and shout at someone because you're embarrassed? Like, take a look at yourself, look at what you're doing. You parked your car across two lanes and you blocked my driveway. And you shout at me for writing what is a very polite note. It said, please don't double park. People who live here can't park their cars. Polite and informative. And that was enough to embarrass you and intimidate you, and yet you're going to run over screaming and shouting. Wow. Yeah, well, good luck with that neighbour, because that is an unhinged individual who you're going to have to live with for a while. And I would imagine this neighbour isn't too clever, isn't too intelligent, but I would hazard a guess that they are willing to hold a grudge for the rest of the time they're neighbours with you. So, good luck, OP, and watch out for that. Top comment is from Cracked1 and says, they seem to be the type of people who think they are all that matters in the world, and the rest of us are just NPCs in the video game that is their lives. How dare you question the main characters? Then you got Salisbury Witch, who says, tell this banshee that the next time her visitors block you from parking, you'll call a tow truck. If she doesn't like it, pound sand. I like that, pound sand. The reply says, I wish I could. I don't think we can call private tow truck companies here in the UK, not when the parking is technically public property. And we've got another top comment from MJH8212 saying, I live in an old resort, 2 apartment buildings and my standalone unit. There's an apartment building next to us. Our driveway is on one side of the building and there's a parking area on the other side. Each apartment has its own entrance, but there's a main entrance on our side by our driveway, which we don't block for safety reasons. Every time a new tenant moves in, someone parks in our driveway. When my husband's car is in the driveway, I don't know why they think they can just park there when not letting us out. Sometimes it's not there and they've parked in our driveway. I leave notes on every car mentioning it's a private driveway and they cannot park there to block us in or out as I'm disabled, and if I fall and hurt myself, emergency services cannot get through and I have no idea which apartment the car belongs to. You're not wrong for writing a note, especially if they shouldn't park there. Some people don't realise there is nothing worse than screaming and shouting when it comes to a difference of opinion, and they were obviously wrong anyway. It's not all of us, but the ones that do these things are inconsiderate, and the ones who are going to scream like they are the only ones that matter in the world. Gives the human race a bad name, which unfortunately it already has, because of wars, both big and small. And yeah, I'd have to say, I don't think I've ever seen someone screaming and shouting in public who I haven't thought is in some way a jerk or a narcissist or just has something wrong with them or needs help. If you're going to be screaming and shouting in public, there is something a little bit unhinged with you, so yeah, just keep your distance with these people. Stay safe, mind the gap. And the next post comes from KCN77215 and is titled Neighbourhood Karen Trying to Be Harriet the Spy. I don't know who Harriet the Spy is, but I'm pretty sure I can insinuate what they mean by that. Looks like Harriet the Spy was from an old kids' spy movie. So let's see what this neighbour's been doing. On Thursday, my entire lawn was turned into dirt to prepare it for resodding. My sprinkler system was also repaired. Friday, my lawn was resodded and my sprinkler system programmed to water every day, all within the city guidelines for a resodding of lawns. While I was still talking to the man that resodded my lawn as he turned on the sprinkler system, this woman from 2 houses down was approaching my house and taking pictures and videos. She walked away when the man walking towards her asking, "Can I help you?" Seems harmless, right? Depends what she's doing that for. I think we're about to find out. Saturday morning at 5:30 AM, this woman knocks on my door telling me I should turn my sprinkler off since it is not my watering day. I explained to her my lawn was resodded and I'm allowed to water every day for 3 to 4 weeks. She gave me a speech about how I'm stealing water from the city. Water that should be conserved so others won't have to worry about getting what they need. I told her we're not in a drought and that once 1 month passes by, my sprinkler system will be programmed to work on watering days only. I kept my cool. All the while she had her phone pointed right at me. I had enough, so I told her to leave and close the door. I love the stories where the person in the wrong is the one filming it. Especially when you see a video uploaded by someone and you're like, why on earth did you upload this? It makes you look so bad. It seems like this woman doesn't seem to be listening to him, listening to his logical reasoning. So, it goes on. Yesterday morning, she knocked on my door and began recording me. I reminded her I was allowed to water every day for up to a month since my lawn was resodded and she needs to leave me alone. Door closed. This morning, same thing. I opened the door long enough to tell her if she didn't stop harassing me early in the morning, I would press charges for harassment. About a half hour later, there were police at my door. It seems that this Karen called the police saying I threatened her. So I'm going to press charges for harassment. That's a threat. I'm calling the police. Wow. I showed them video surveillance of her taking pictures and video on Friday and of her knocking on my door in the early AM hours, shouting at me about my lawn. It was obvious from what I showed them that I wasn't the problem. I wish them a nice day. As I was closing my door, this Karen approaches them with her phone, showing pics and videos, and trying to say me saying I would call the police was a threat. I said that as a joke, but that's genuinely what she thought. Wow. I listened as they told her that it's obvious she's the one out of sorts and what she is doing is stalking and harassment. She yelled at them, saying I was stealing city water. She shoved one of the officers. And as she was being arrested, she kept shouting this was my fault and I better pay her bail. Fat chance. Wow. Wow, wow. What a story. Imagine being next to this person. When she comes back out of prison, you're going to have more problems on your hand because this person seems a little bit off their rocker, let's say. She's been told 3 separate times and she still comes every single day. Well, I just want to know what's in this woman's head when she leaves. When you say to her, it's been resodded, I'm legally allowed to do this and I will be doing it for the next 3 to 4 weeks. I need to know what's in this woman's head when she leaves. Does she walk away thinking okay and then forgets about it the next morning? Does she just walk away thinking, I'll come back tomorrow? What do you expect to happen? And now moving on to the comments. See a top comment from Peregrine_Swift says, wow, I have to say, this is one of the best outcomes I've seen on this sub. I can't believe she basically called the cops on herself. Thank goodness you had cameras to prove this crazy idiot was harassing you. Why can't people mind their own business? Please be vigilant, she may escalate, but hopefully getting arrested was enough to make her stop. Well, the previous explanations wasn't enough to make her stop, so I believe that she might get worse as she comes back, or she might come back looking for revenge on you, so watch out, OP. And then Jessie Faye says, I wouldn't be surprised if she destroys the sod when she gets out. There, now you don't need to steal the water. And OP responds saying, her husband tried that 2 hours ago. What? Oh my god, it's happened. We're getting live updates here. I had him arrested. Now they'll have to pay for it to be resodded. So the husband's in on it too, and he's destroyed everything. What is wrong with these people? Are they drug addicts or something? Dang, I expected it of her. Crazy married crazy. I hope they don't reproduce. I'm used to seeing one reasonable person in a marriage trying to keep things from getting too out of hand. And yeah, that's what I thought as well, because I read a lot of these stories and a lot of times it's one partner or the other. The other partner is trying to calm them down, or they go over, I'm just really sorry about my partner, yeah, just let's settle it like this. But no, they're both on it. And you would go to prison over someone's legal right to water their plants. I mean, yeah, I think someone else said it perfectly. Just mind your own business. Just mind your own damn business. And if you really are that worried about the water usage, they tell you it's only for 3 to 4 weeks when it's new. Why can't you accept that? Just accept it and move on. So now I need to see if there's any more updates from OP, because it didn't look like there was, and I was going to leave it there, but that one comment about the husband breaking things, I'm going to go in a little deep dive. I'm going to be my own Harriet the Spy. I'm going to be my own Harriet the Spy and try and find an update from this person. That's a post on Florida man from this user. Nothing else, unfortunately, just the husband being arrested. And yeah, that's about that. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to pass it over to you guys in the comments. What do you think you would do in these people's situation? First, well, with the second story, what would you do if your neighbour just kept on coming over and telling you to stop doing something that you don't need to stop doing? And about the first story as well, what would you do if someone just kept parking in front of your property and they screamed at you in the streets for leaving a nice note? So don't forget to like and subscribe as well, because I do put new Reddit videos out every single day, and I will see you again next time.